Great. So maybe we'll start. And welcome, everyone. Nice to see you all. And we'll start by sharing together these slides. I'll share those. And we'll go through them first before we have also shares and questions. There's another part of these of the teachings, finding rest in the empowered mind, and there's a focus on how to access wisdom in all thoughts and emotions. So the most important choice we have is like we choose the way we describe everything. So it's very powerful to recognize and see the way we describe all the thoughts and emotions we might have that come up, and obviously there are like countless and ceaseless and unpredictable thoughts and emotions all day long. And so the introduction to open intelligence comes along with a choice that we have in how we describe everything. And because otherwise, if they're just the descriptions, we all maybe have been on a roller coaster, but with the thoughts and emotions, we're definitely on a roller coaster. And so if we get lost in descriptions, we find ourselves on a roller coaster ride of thoughts, emotions, and other experiences, the ups and downs of daily life. Once we have the good ones around, then we really might be afraid that the good ones go and the bad ones come along, the negative thoughts. Or we really wish the positive ones. So yeah, it's a roller coaster ride and trying to get those all in place. And like we spoke last time, it's these different ways of using our mind, indulging and avoiding the thoughts and emotions and replacing them. So by the power of a short moment of open intelligence, we directly experience freedom from ups and downs. Begin to have a balanced outlook. So we all here have some experience of taking short moments, which is throughout the day, and recognizing there's something stable about us and always present. And this benefit becomes more and more like obvious just in a very practical way. So how it says here, also we are better able to be of benefit to ourselves, family, community, and the world. By the power of open intelligence, we tap into our innate strengths, gifts, and talents and contribute them to the benefit of all. It might sound like a big vision, but when we just simply look at the power of a short moment right here and the immediate benefit we might recognize by not getting lost in like impulses to act. Say we are angry and somebody does something, and then we just like need to lash out and say something, or the emotions they drive us to do something that wouldn't really serve for the environment or the people around us. So so we can see how conflicts can be created by just going with the ups and downs of our own data in relationships and family, and even within ourselves, like the anger and that we have towards ourselves and who we are, what we do. So to recognize what we are truly capable of and opening up these limitations that might feel so tensed. This is all in that one power, in that one short moment, in the power of a short moment. And then repeat many times. So this beneficial potency that is released by letting all these data be as they are comes more and more obvious. Yeah, maybe Jochen, you would like to take it
Sure.
from here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Simply stated, short moments of open intelligence are soothing, and constant emphasis on data is uncomfortable. I think that's a great it's a great summary of experience of life, and I can definitely relate that like with the roller coaster ride of basically all I could see was my like the data and then the emotions, the thoughts. And then even when I had positive experiences, I already was concerned that they would, that they would change because the law of impermanence, it will definitely change. And so I couldn't even really enjoy them like fully and wholly because I already knew, this will be fleeting. And there is just no complete ease in this way of living where every moment is only seen for the description, and we're not recognizing the underlying essence of our being and not tapping into that innate state of or condition of rest and calm, which then that I like that word soothing, because that's really, like when you have something like going on and then it's soothing to just have a much more like rounded perspective of what's actually happening. um I like the metaphors. I think there might be metaphors coming up, right? But it's so good to know that that this like open intelligence, like a crystal ball, is always naturally present, and we can always relax into or as that clarity and as that indestructible essence of all the reflections of the crystal ball of the mind, and not getting constantly absorbed and upset and keep micromanaging what happens. And then I also like this a lot there. Short moments are user friendly. In a short moment of open intelligence, we return to our original dignity and benefit. In each short moment, we press the reset button of open intelligence, love, and beneficial energy. Our intelligence, speech, body, qualities, and activities are empowered with our original beneficial reality. So it is really like that, where wherever we catch ourselves in running with or trying to manage our thoughts and emotions, or try to manage other people's thoughts and emotions, wherever in this sequence we catch ourselves, it is like pressing this reset button and recognizing we can relax, we can rest. Ultimately all is well, and I don't need for this person to change. I don't need for my thoughts and emotions to change in order to then be at ease, in order to then feel love, or to be able to have a more beneficial action. I can already do that now. That's what the reset button does. It restores us to this original dignity and benefit that is always already there, but we don't even see that choice when we don't know about open intelligence, and all we have is the thoughts and emotions. Like I really thought that the basic goodness of us as humans depends on the kinds of thoughts that I have. So every time I had negative or bad thoughts, so to speak, I did really take that to mean that I was a bad person, so to speak. I may not have thought exactly these thoughts, but ultimately that's what it meant. Is it was always a sign that there is something deeply wrong with me. And of course, I didn't know what to do, because I don't know anybody who never has any bad thoughts. So I didn't even know who to ask or how to deal with it, other than trying to manage it to the best of my ability. So it's a huge relief to reset into this original state. Do you want to continue again here, Kati?
Right. If we have positive thoughts, that's fine. If we have negative thoughts, that's fine. Whatever happens, happens. If we get distracted or not, that's fine. whatever happens, let it happen. Thoughts and emotions, self-release like mist in the air. So that fits to what you just shared, is that it's not, the emphasis isn't on whether we have positive or negative thoughts and these ups and downs, and it's relying on open intelligence in a short moment and letting all these thoughts come and go. Self-release, it's a powerful word, like the mist in the air. It releases itself. It doesn't need any help, or it just undoes itself. And this is with all our thoughts and emotions. And just to experience that the first time, to see, wow, don't have to do anything with my negative thoughts, or try to get to be better, have better thoughts, or have a better emotion. It's simply that practice of getting more familiar with open intelligence and allowing that energy, the dynamic energy of everything, of all the thoughts and emotions, be as they are. It all settles into its powerful place. It's already as that, but it becomes more obvious. And these thoughts and emotions self-release, they don't stick around in the same way as a big problem or something we need to fight. So look directly at your indestructible essence. So we mentioned that the crystal ball and the indestructibility of a crystal ball, that metaphor, and seeing everything that reflects within it. But the essence, and nothing happens to the crystal ball, and we can directly see our indestructible essence. We take a short moment, that's confirmed. It's already present, so we don't really have to try to make it or achieve it. It's more right here. We look at our indestructible essence, open intelligence. It never changes. It never is affected by anything that appears within it. So we can know that about ourselves more and more. And our thoughts and emotions are reflections in a crystal ball. The reflections do not change the crystal ball. And so that power and indestructibility, equalness and evenness of everything is obvious when we see that crystal ball. It can have nice reflections, but it can also have very horrible and challenging reflections, and the crystal ball doesn't change. It's indestructible. So this is what we can see more and more when we take short moments in our direct experience, because we have to see it in our own experience to really to confirm it right there. We can think about it and it sounds good, but then it's actually even better, obviously, when it's confirmed in our direct experience. And sometimes it might seem difficult, and difficult, challenging data don't feel, they don't have to feel easy, really. But we recognize the presence, the indestructible presence of open intelligence more and more. And that's gaining confidence in open intelligence when we expose ourselves more and more to hearing about that stability within us, about open intelligence. It becomes more and more obvious, and that's what we call like gaining confidence over time, until until there's certainty, and you just know that without needing to think about it. And so that comes about with taking short moments repeatedly in all situations. And sometimes it's good to take short moments. Some people take short moments, especially when it's difficult, because they remember quicker and see an immediate effect. But for others, it might be easier to take short moments in easy circumstances, when out in nature and seeing the sky, and then it seems more easier to get familiar there, and that's fine too. And then the difficult ones are not so easy. So it is for each one different. But we can practice whatever is best for us. And in such circumstances like now, we can take short moments in practice. And it might be more effortless when we just hear and see images and speak about it and hear other people share. Yeah, no. We can continue here.
Rest the mind naturally without describing anything, without seeking anything, just rest naturally. I think I always I waited for this my whole life to just hear this instruction or yeah, this confirmation, just rest, all is well, just rest. You don't need to describe anything, you don't need to seek anything, you can rest right now just as you are. Because my entire life we also speak about the hamster wheel, that we're running constantly, chasing after better experiences, trying to run away from negative experiences, trying to change the world into a better world, or running away from all the suffering that we can't bear to look at in the world, and constantly running in the hamster wheel of our own mind, essentially. So instead of becoming more efficient or effective in running the hamster wheel, to just be told it's all right to step outside. Just rest. Rest, and you'll see that nothing will happen. It's almost strange that it's such a foreign concept to us as humans, because all other animals live this way. They're not obsessed about their future or ruminate on their past, at least not from what we know. Who knows what they're doing when we're not watching, but it appears that they have a much easier time to just rest their minds naturally, and they just do their thing. We live really beautifully here, in a small town with a lot of green, and I sometimes just like to sit on the deck and watch the deer come, and they just walk around and then they graze, and the birds come, and the foxes or the rabbits, and everybody's just doing their thing, and in such an easeful, spontaneous, natural way. And of course, as humans, we have this incredible capacity which has given us amazing tools to project into the future and to learn from the past, but it's come at a high cost, at a high price. And to be able to access this like deeper operating system where the mind can just rest in its natural state is such a blessing. Do we have another one? It's like finishing a hard day's work and being able to completely relax body and mind after a warm and soothing bath. Just sit there completely relaxed and natural, tired, but completely resting. Yeah, so precious. Just imagining this, like the warm water there, and the pristine view, and getting a visceral sense of what that's like, to be at ease within ourselves, and what it's like to run around with our thoughts and emotions, only seeing those. And over time, the short moments just become so instinctive and natural that, like, for me, it's such a visceral sense that when it's not obvious open intelligence, and like it just feels so tensed and so unnatural now to try and fix and manage myself all the time, or the world. And just that recognition, when it becomes obvious, is it already is essentially the short moment, because everything then relaxes into its natural state. So Kati spoke about the choice in the very beginning. I think the second slide, and this again is the choice. In every moment, we choose to either focus on the descriptions of our thoughts and emotions, or we rely on open intelligence, resting naturally. And of course, descriptions don't go anywhere. So it's not that we need to have like a blank mind, you know, like an empty crystal ball. The crystal ball is never empty, right? Even if you put it into a pitch black dark room, then that's what it will reflect, so to speak, is complete darkness or blackness. It's pervaded by that, but the crystal ball is what is unchanging. And so by relying on open intelligence, by relying on the crystal ball-like nature of mind, we act from that stability that we recognize in that moment, that becomes the platform, the basis for making decisions, is the clarity and the stability of mind, rather than the ever-changing content of mind. Yeah, so this is a beautiful instruction there. At the very moment data form, rely on serene and spacious open intelligence. That is the introduction to open intelligence. That is open intelligence, which has no point from which to view. So, and another word for that would be complete perceptual openness, or freedom in immediate perception, where whatever arises, there is no clinging to it. We rest as that which is looking, and allow whatever it is that appears to just appear and self-release in that serene and spacious openness of our own mind, of intelligence. Did you want to go a little more, Kati, or what's, I don't know how
We
far we
can
wanted to
do,
go.
yes, we can do here. Maybe this relying on open intelligence is referred to as short moments, many times become automatic. It's good because we had sometimes that thought about question about relying on open intelligence. So it is like the short moments of open intelligence, repeated many times, become automatic. Short moments is to cultivate many times of open intelligence, many times until it becomes automatic and permanent. And obviously it's like it seems like we're doing something, and we are doing something. It's like to remember short moment and to take short moments out of the habit of emphasizing data. It's a shift in how we use our mind. It's also feels maybe like effort, but open intelligence is always present, so there's nothing we're doing, but it becomes more and more automatic. The confidence is more and more obvious, and then there's no need to rely on short moments any longer. But short moments are always a beautiful practice, regardless of how long you're already confident in open intelligence. But at the same time, it becomes obvious, and it's the presence of open intelligence is obvious without thinking about it. It's the ease of being within all kinds of circumstances. So I was thinking of the squirrel as well, that we sometimes see very busy, but I would say it's resting in itself, in its busyness. So it could have any kind of look. And there is the ease of being. Yeah, maybe we'll pause here and we hear shares and questions maybe too. And about short moments, and you're welcome to put on your videos as well. That's great to see you. And if you have a question, you can press 1 or just put on your microphone. If you have, and also if you want to share about your short moments practice, that'll be great too.
Well, I could just share that I really appreciate that you reminded us that we have a choice in how we use our mind, and that we don't have to emphasize data, because I forgot, and I was so into emphasizing data, and it's like it's a really great reminder. And yeah, so the quality of that's experiencing data is always present in every data, and that has its own nature that you can learn to rely on by experiencing it directly. Is that kind of the idea?
Yes, yes, that sounds great. And how do you see some changes in your day-to-day life with taking short moments?
Well, I have to say, I probably haven't been practicing it very well this last week. I kind of so, but yeah, I'm emotionally I'm kind of just wrapped up in trying to manage. I'm kind of like I avoided facing things, and now I came back home and all the stuff I avoided was like in my face. So uh, yeah, I haven't really uh, but I can see that quality of like the chitta, the awareness being present in each and every moment that knows the object is like there. uh and there has been times when I enjoyed, like, you know directing my attention to that which knows what appears. And
Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
uh,
that's good. And also, yes, that recognizing maybe just the dynamic of data, how we dealt with it, try to avoid things, and how it is to face it. And just alone seeing this kind of display and way we are using our mind as part of short moment,
mhm.
it's more clarity in what's happening. So in that
So
way, that's already, you're more recognizing how you use your mind. Yeah.
in, like, from your own experience, like, when do you think is it more skillful just to go into those environments that you're want to avoid and just try and practice open intelligence in that space?
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't make that an extreme, because it's no need
Mhm.
to put yourself into circumstances in an extreme way to practice. But at one point there might be some kind of almost, wanting a courage and wanting, okay, I want to actually see how I can do that and face things step by step, and and take short moments. So it's definitely a way to do it, but it wouldn't be necessary. But what happens is that one less and less needs to avoid certain things.
Mhm.
Maybe you
Yeah.
want to share there also. Yeah, so that's perfect. Taking short moments and testing some circumstances that we have always avoided, and saying, yeah, actually, it worked out.
Mm.
Yeah, I think for me, a big test, when we met the teachings, we were traveling at the time. And so for me, the real testing ground was always coming back. We didn't have a house or anything, so we lived with our parents, visiting them in Germany. And so for me, going back to live in my parents' home was like the ultimate test. And because, of course, buttons that had been pushed for 35 years, they were all pushed at the same time after not being there for months. Uh, and it definitely, wasn't as easy or as habitual, let's say that way. But I really think it's great that you can already, like, what really supported me was to even just become clear on what's happening in these situations. Like, I'm avoiding, like, whereas before it was this like massive psychological thing that I thought I had to sort out, and then I saw what I'm actually doing is I'm avoiding the situation or I'm avoiding a conversation. So I could, and that simplicity already felt helpful. And then
Mhm.
as part of like, there is this teaching we spoke about the 12 empowerments. Part of that is to, which was really helpful for me, to look at how I'm avoiding and what exactly is it that I'm avoiding. So for example, I could see that what I'm really avoiding in many situations is my own discomfort. I am avoiding the person, but only because they make me feel so uncomfortable. So that supported me in making it less about the person, but more seeing that, you know, this is primarily about my own discomfort. And, you know, this may be different for you, but that's ultimately what it was for me is, you know, if I can hang out on the beach in India somewhere and just talk about open intelligence, that's nice. But if I have to be back and, you know, hear questions from my parents like, what are you doing for a living? You're like teaching in India? Like, how does that go together? And why did you go study and, you know, do all these things? Um, and it primarily made me, you know, like it brought up my own doubts or my own insecurities and everything. And I could see that's what I need to relax with or can relax with is I can find the security or the safety or the stability in a moment of open intelligence. And I can let that insecurity, that self-doubt, that whatever it is, the discomfort within myself, I can let that be as it is. And it's okay. You know, I'd rather not feel that way. I'd rather feel, you know, positive emotions, but since that's not a choice I have, but the choice I have is to relax with everything as it is, exactly as it is. It did become, in a quirky kind of way, a fun, you know, resting practice challenge for me to come back home and say, all right, I'll see what comes up today. And I won't commit to be nice or to do, you know, like to in any way contrive my conduct. What I will commit to is find rest with my own discomfort. And you know, then that you could probably take that as an example for other kinds of situations where it's, you know, maybe not discomfort, maybe anger is coming up or something, but a lot of it really is ultimately how we relate with our inner experience, so to speak, because the world around us is just different triggers of our inner experience that then, you know, makes us feel a certain way that we either like or don't like. But ultimately, it always comes back to ourselves in this way, which again is, I think, a great insight to have, that I don't need people to change. I can choose to discover and rely on the stability and the clarity and the openness of mind and heart in every moment. And maybe I will choose from that perspective at some point that I will not visit a certain person anymore. You know, I did have friendships that changed over time where I didn't spend as much time, not because I had to avoid them, but because it felt clear that, you know, just as part of life's changes, also something in those relationships was just, it was time to move on basically, but not from a like state of needing to not be there anymore, but more of like really seeing clearly that that's not what serves at the moment.
Well, that was great. That was very helpful. Yeah, and even clarified between discomfort and anger because I identified with the discomfort, but anger is even better, more accurate. Yeah, and that's cool. So the choice is just to rest in whatever's appearing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, that was great. Thank you so much for your helpful insights.
Great.
If there's anyone else who'd like to share about short moments in your life, even if it's just even if somebody just took one short moment. It's already profound. One short moment is profound. Mm. Yes, to see you. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi. I have been practicing like on a daily basis. Honestly, it feels like it's a constant practice for me because there are so many things that come up for me on a daily basis that are distressing. Like even right now, I had prearranged a taxi to take me to my medical appointment, and they're not here until I'm going to be late for my appointment. And I feel myself getting stressed out, and I'm like, okay, relax completely, like stop thinking, relax completely, take a short moment. Like it's like there are so many situations that are completely beyond my control. Like I'm doing my best to plan in advance and like take care of everything, and it's like people just aren't doing what they're supposed to do or what they said they're going to do, and it's like causing me an inconvenience. And then so I just keep taking short moments, but I definitely still notice myself feeling feelings like in sensations and emotions. Like I feel irritated and annoyed, and
Yeah, totally. Yes, that you feel these energies, these feelings and energies in your body and mind, right? And there's nothing wrong about that. It doesn't mean that you're not resting. You're resting. It's obvious, right? You're taking short moments and still you're feeling all that energy. We've labeled it all in certain ways, and it's okay. Nothing wrong with the labels. And but you're recognizing also it being the dynamic energy of your intelligence. And that doesn't mean that you, yes. Mm-hmm.
So is it dynamic energy? Am I just so intelligent that I can't help but be completely irritated by
ultimately, yeah. Like ultimately, yes. So you feel the total irritation and the energy and yeah. And this energy is powerful wisdom.
The energy of my thoughts, emotions, and sensations is powerful wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you mean like it indicates to me what I value, because I really value being places early, if not on time. Like I hate being late, and I really value people following through on what they say they're going to do, things like that.
Yes, and that is so perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe you will find and choose circumstances, people that share these values and that you can rely on. Here we go with wisdom, right? Practical wisdom. And like you said, very important in the beginning, there are so many uncontrollable circumstances. Like, yeah, it's not your fault that the taxi driver is late. You might look for a different taxi company if that happens again, or maybe it's a one-off. But I'm making just little practical, but see your wisdom, see your values, it's okay. See the wisdom of, it's not, life is unpredictable. We never know what happens next, and we cannot control people. But we have wisdom energy. Doesn't mean that these things don't happen. This could happen to anyone at any time. Like, if I order a taxi here where we live, it probably will never ever come. So my wisdom is, because we live so outside, you know, it's so far away, people, that they wouldn't even come, not even Uber come. But anyway, so make it what my point is, so I will have to have use my, you know, discernment here and have other choices. But so you see your energy, see the wisdom appearances. And sometimes it just means, wow, and you're resting. And maybe you know what to do now when the taxi doesn't come.
Sorry, they just came, so I'm in the taxi now.
Right.
But I still
Good.
can't help but feel irritated and anxious, you know, because appointment and these appointments.
Of course, that might
You
not
know?
go away right now. So
Mhm.
and now you're in the taxi. So now there's nothing that you can do. You're there, you're going there. You might be late. Okay. So now it's about, now you let the energy rest in itself, because now you're on your way. You're gonna be late. You might say something to the doctor, and you know, but that's all there is for now. It's always one moment at a time, and now it's not about not feeling these things. It's feeling those and letting those rest. When you rest with those, let them self-release. Doesn't mean that they don't come back up, but they self-release in this moment. Again and again, just letting it rest. Now you're on your way.
Mhm.
Nothing's wrong with you or anything right now. Everything is as it is, dynamically wild.
Mhm. Mhm. So, you know, it definitely brings up other things, you know, that are happening, and then I sort of wonder, like, okay, why is this my feedback? You know, like, why do I have all of these situations that are bringing up all of these mistakes for me?
You're fading a little bit, but why? The question why is, it's probably an endless question and an endless answer.
Like one thing after the next is what I mean.
One moment at a time, one thing to the next. Is that what you're saying? Yes, one moment at a time. I think what for now will be powerful is recognize all your energies and feelings and thoughts as wisdom. Okay, and then let us know next week what that means for you. But only in short moments, not in long wisdom moments.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for sharing. And it was a situation right there in the midst of it. So that's always powerful, actually. Having real life circumstances where we are so angry, irritated, or anxious also, what will happen, right? The stories can go, and the feelings, and think, oh, what will happen? Maybe I'll even lose my appointment, and maybe they'll be angry, and then there'll be negative energy, or there's all kinds of thoughts. And, you know, there's also a moment of I wanted compassion, and you know, say, okay, yes, wow, you did your best. You did your you tried to schedule early, you tried your best, and then it didn't happen. And compassion for yourself also in this moment of having done all the best, wanting to do the best, and then there's lots of energy. You have lots of energy, so that's, you know, wisdom energy. the old ancient saying is the greater the challenges and afflictions and the energy, the greater the wisdom. Sometimes it's unbelievable, but it is. It can be in this moment like, okay. And I see also your question, would you be able to speak more about thoughts and emotions being powerful and of wisdom next time? Yes, we'll do that. It can be another, powerful topic, what that wisdom means. Practically. Johannes or anybody. Good. So maybe, so maybe we'll do that for the next time and pause here for today. Thank
Sounds
you
good.
all.
Mhm.
Sounds good, yeah. Thank you all for being here, and it was good to be together.
Mhm.
Much love to you all.
Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you, Kathy. Thanks, everyone.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy.